Hey there, it's Diane Cunningham Ellis, and welcome to the Inspired Ideas podcast. And we are also recording this live for YouTube as well today. So we're doing double duty, and I have my guest here, Diane Journy. And so we're going to be chatting about inspiration and all sorts of things related to it. So Diana, tell them a little bit about you. You and I have known each other quite a long time now, probably since 2015, or I don't know, somewhere back in those years. Tell them a little bit about who you are, what you do for your business, and give a little intro so that they can hear you and see you do this if they're watching on YouTube. And then we'll dive into our conversation for today. But I'm excited for you to be here.
Thank you. Thank you, Diane, for asking me. So I'm Diane Journy, and I have two businesses. One is with my husband. We work together the journey through, and the other one is Diana Journy. I am a life coach. I'm an author. I'm a speaker, and I'm a teacher. So that's pretty much what I do in a nutshell. And my whole thing is to give people hope when they feel there is no hope. So,
yes, ma'am. And you are really, really good at that. And I've gotten to see that from nearby, next door, close by. And our topic today is really all about inspired ideas. And lots of our inspired ideas rise up from tragedy.
correct.
And that's true for many of us that are in business. We never would have put this on our vision board, so to speak, right? So what inspired you and your husband? I know the story, but those listening might not. What inspired them, you and your husband, after the fact, to launch the business that you have together? And tell them a little bit about that journey.
So back in, this is quite a few years ago now, back in 2008, my husband had an affair, and we have 4 children. We'd been married for 30 years, and it wasn't ever on our radar, that he would have an affair. Just never thought of that. And he did. And, our life when we were trying to heal was just a mess. And he wasn't really sure he wanted to stay in the marriage. I thought I wanted him to stay in the marriage, but then after being in so much pain and hurt, there's probably part of me that didn't know if I wanted him in the marriage either. So we had a lot of work to do. And, if you go to our website, it says, "We saved our marriage, you can too." Mm-hmm. And that's why we got into this, because we went through all of that pain, all of that hurt, all of that dysfunction, and we saved our marriage.
Yeah.
And it's more than saving our marriage. We have a different marriage today than we had before. And if you would have asked us before, we would have said, "Oh yeah, we have a good marriage." Well, we have a better marriage today.
Mm-hmm.
And we both like where we are. And so we want others to know that they too can, if they do the work, if they're willing, they can have a better marriage, whatever better looks like to them. Mm-hmm. So that's where, yeah, you're right. It came from a place of pain, our business.
Right.
But, if we go into some of those cliches, our messes become our message, pain rises from the ashes, purpose comes from pain. So that's where we are. We have a purpose.
You do. And you've helped so many couples. Here's the truth of the matter. We only need to be a few little stepping stones ahead of the people that God sends us. We don't have to be, standing on the TED Talk stage. We might be, but God will send us people that are 2 or 3 months behind us in the healing process, or even a year. It's hard. You of course know I'm in recovery, and when I didn't sign up for that either, but the day I got there was the day I needed to be there. I couldn't have gotten there one day sooner. One day, I got there exactly when It was my time. And I mean, we don't want to get into, oh, should I have been there years? Well, I mean, who cares? Right. Like, we don't need to overthink our disaster. Right. Like, go towards the solution, go towards this, and hang out with the people, whether that's in person, at events, retreats, 1-day workshops, intensives like you guys offer. I want to hang out with the people that it's working for. I want to go towards the light. I want to go towards the people that are happy, joyous, and free. I want to go towards the one that looks like, they've walked across and there's some beautiful things over there. Let me go hang out with them and follow that little path.
Right.
And you guys do that in amazing ways with your weekend intensives, with your speaking at events and retreats. You do that on, you've done that on Zoom, you do it in person. And because there's people that you and your husband can help that only the two of you can help, truthfully, because I'm not going to listen to somebody that hasn't walked through what I'm trying to walk. I don't trust them as much.
Right, exactly. And that trust is really an important factor. We have many of our clients who, especially the ones who do the private intensive, and they'll say, well, gee, how good are you guys? And that's a fair question. But the truth is, we're as good as our clients.
Right.
So if you are willing to come and be totally open and vulnerable and honest and do the work, then you're going to succeed, and we're good then, right?
Right.
But if you come and don't do any of it, then you're not going to succeed. And we didn't succeed because we can't push anyone. We can't make them. We offer it. And
right.
So, and we have found the most success in couples healing by doing a private with us. So.
Right. And explain to our listeners and watchers what a private means. What does that mean?
A private intensive is they come and spend 3 days with us. They usually come Friday afternoon and leave on Sunday. And for those 3 days, I like to say, we get in their faces, we get in their business, and there's no hiding from us because it's them and Tim and I. And so we can call them out if we think they're hiding, and we force them to be open, to be vulnerable, because that's how we are. We are so open and vulnerable with our stories of healing, and we have to be. For them to really trust us, we have to be. We have to share it. We have to tell them the down and dirty stuff the mess we were in. Like we always tell them about the muck. I always called it muck. We were stuck in muck. And if one of us got even a little bit out of the muck, the other one pulled them back in, like, you are not going, I'm in the muck, you're staying with me. And so, when we're doing a private with them, we get down in their muck with them. And then we help them see things differently. And we help them, really look at what they need to look at and what they need to change. And basically who they are at their core, where they really want to go, and what they want their legacy to be. So those are the things we really concentrate on.
It's so good. And just to brag on you, so Diana and Tim both have, they have some books. You'll be able to see all of this on the website, and we'll put that in the links and things. But Diana and Tim have a book together. That Diana has a couple books by herself. They're authors. They have not held anything back. And when I first got referred to meet Diana, they were already doing this. So Diana and Tim had already been doing this for a long time. And then I found them through another friend of ours, and Diana has been one of my clients. So we're going to dive a little bit into that, the coaching world and inner circle world. And so Diana is a member of what's now called the Inspired Business Inner Circle. It's been called she's been with me, that she's like gone through the name changes.
I have.
Right. Right. And we've gone on, I've got the honor of meeting her. So like, not just meeting her, going on trips, travels, and adventures with Diana. I've met Tim. I've stayed at their home. Like we've walked through many pieces of life together.
Mhm.
And I love that history we have together. And I love that intimacy that we can have in as a coaching and client relationship. And I learned just as much from Diana and Tim as I hope they learn from me. And what's been the power because you have a community, I have community, I want all year long I'm talking about community, I'm talking about coaching courses, and that we have to not just create,
Mhm.
we're creating, marketing, and delivering to these people. I mean, lots of times we can get over here like creating and like we're just over here in creativity zone with all of our paints everywhere, but we never actually tell anybody about the beautiful thing we just created. So what has been the power of Inner Circle to keep you inspired?
Well, I think the biggest power for me was community, the other
Mm-hmm.
women, yourself and the other women in the group. Because we inspire one another, we encourage one another, and we support one another.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you talk about creating, because there's sometimes you create a program or an event or something, and it doesn't quite turn out the way you had hoped. And that's where, you can come to the group and they can all support you because we've all been there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they can celebrate when it does go the way it's supposed to, or you thought it would be. They celebrate with you. And they also share a lot because everyone has something different. They're not all life coaches per se. They're not all, doing this. They're doing different things, and they can share that with one another. So that is really inspiring. And of course, then you have you leading us, who's really inspiring, and you have so much energy and so much wisdom and knowledge, and you share, you learn, you're a learner, and
Mm-hmm.
you learn and then you share. You come back and you share it with us.
Mm-hmm.
So, because you want us to be learners, you want us to grow and to
Right.
grow our businesses and to grow, personally too. So,
Right. Right. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I love our community, like you mentioned. I love what happens with all of us. I mean, we got a chance to be together earlier today, and I just get so fired up by what happens. And I'm in a couple different coaching groups and programs, and looking into my next one. I'm always looking into where's the next village to bring the information back to the people, because what works for some won't work for the next, and we're all totally unique, very differently gifted, and but when I come to the table, so to speak, we can share, hey, here's 6 things I tried, here's 3 that flopped miserably. But here's 2 that worked really, really well, and they seem to hit home. And hey, sprinkle those out. You go try them with your people. Go run over there and try these with your people. Or the 3 that didn't work for me might work great for you. But we get the honor of the, we're going to implement, we're going to be inspired, and we're going to go get the chance to watch each other take bold action and love each other through the good, bad, the ugly, the moving, the crying, the carrying on. We have cried many times together. And it's just I just love it. I love hosting a mastermind, and I love being part of mastermind groups. And if you don't know what a mastermind is, it's basically it's an intimate group. That could be 12 women, that could be 5. I mean, it can be men and women. It could be bigger than that. It just depends on the feeling and the community that happens together, and the transformation. It's about the transformation. Yeah. So my next question is, because we're always cooking things up, right? Not necessarily in the kitchen, but sometimes in the kitchen too. What are you, what's on your horizon for, like, what's kind of next that's exciting to you or inspiring that you are playing around with that idea to try out? So what's coming around the bend for you?
Well, the biggest thing right now is that we're taking our Marriage Transform class that Tim and I teach at our church, which is live. We're taking that online. And so that's, a different feel for us to have it online, not to be that in-person one-on-one kind of thing. So that's probably our biggest step right now, is to take that and to change it up, and to see how that works. And from then, I think that opens up the door for quite a few other ideas we have for online trainings or teachings. But we're testing this out first, and that's Marriage Transform Academy. So that's the big thing that we got.
Yeah. And it's so exciting. I'm so excited about that, getting that, because what we know to be true and we resist, well, some of my clients are resisting it, maybe, is that, and COVID has taught us many good lessons about the power of digital experiences, the power of what we're doing right here, having this conversation from Florida to Texas. Doesn't matter. There's going to be people watching this all over the globe. There's going to be people listening to this that we'll never meet. We will never meet these people that are listening to this podcast. Probably won't ever hear from them. Right.
Right.
Or we might, hey, surprise us. If you're listening to this podcast and you are getting value, surprise us. Reach out to Diana and I and just say, hey, I loved it. Or, hey, great job. Or, hey, thank you for your honesty. Say, surprise us by reaching out. That's going to set you apart. It's going to set you apart. I got to sprinkle, I'm going to go on a little sidebar. A lot of us are using Voxer right now to communicate in brand new. There's always a new technology. There's Telegraph. I think that's the name of it. Telegraph, Voxer, WhatsApp, Slack, Circle, Mighty Networks. I mean, we could go on and on. The list would have been different 5 years ago, but there was a different list, right? And 10 years ago, same thing. Oh, we're all leaving Facebook. Oh yeah, right. We're all still here. Great. But we've been playing with this new inspired idea of Voxer. And Diana and I can communicate back and forth while she's with her grandchildren. And she can help a new client who's in crisis without actually getting on Zoom to support her. And today I've been able to Voxer back and forth with my team, my coach, my clients, and get like little 3-minute tidbits, little 5-minute updates. And so, some of that stuff is really inspiring to me. Why? Because we don't have to be sitting here at the same exact time to be having these community conversations. And so what you're doing with the Marriage Transformed Academy, to bring it back to that, is you're rising up from where you guys happen to live. You just happen to live in a certain location. Right. We're rising up so that you can reach so many more people all around the world, globe, and beyond, I guess, and to help people with the exact training, knowledge, and life that you've walked through. That's cool.
Yeah, exactly. But when you mentioned Voxer, it made me think of something else, because you did earlier today when we were on the call, you did challenge me to, do a Voxer program, but I had actually done that.
Right.
I have that on my Diana Journy website, a coaching Voxer package. And I was working on a, what I was calling was a 911 Voxer call, because of the work I do, helping people who perhaps have been betrayed, whatever their betrayal was, and they're up at the middle of the night trying to find some help. That's kind of what the 911 Voxer would be about, is that's the time you can, get in there, set that up. I'll see it in the morning when I get up, because I'm not looking at it at 3 a.m, hopefully. But but then I can get back to you that day So it can
Right.
be a quicker response time when you need the
Right.
help. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. And I had forgotten that we already have, yes. And this is the power of, we all learn, we learn and we forget.
Mm,
I want to make sure I say this right for the sake of the recording. I'm going to learn a whole bunch of things from my coach, and then I'm going to forget that I even asked her that question like 3 weeks from now. And she's going to go, I've already answered that. I'll go, oh, thank you so much. Please point me back in the right direction. And that's true for all of us because we're learning new things. I'm learning new skill sets.
mm,
I'm learning new boundaries. I'm learning, and whether this is in the business realm or the personal realm, learning how to communicate with my spouse in a brand new way is not coming easy to me if I've never done it before. Learning to say, wow, that hurt my feelings. I feel hurt. If I've never said that, if we never said that in my family, learning how to do such a thing is awkward, painful, uncomfortable, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
right.
And it's the same as, oh, it sounds really cool to have a podcast. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. I don't know who to ask. It feels overwhelming. So then I sit back down.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Whereas if I raise my hand and actually get kind of awkward, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to say those words, Diana. I need to watch the lesson again. I need to rewind and watch that little training another 5 times if I need to.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's the beauty about learning now is that we don't usually get it the first time.
Mm-hmm.
We need to have it, that second or third time, hear it. We probably need it in a different way, for it to really take hold. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just truth.
It's just truth. It's just truth. Yeah. I mean, we're all lifelong learners and we're not alone.
No, we're not alone.
Every
Often,
time.
we think we think we're alone and we don't reach out for that help. That's the problem, right? Is that we think, oh, we can do this, and or no one knows what I'm going through, or they haven't been there, they don't know me, but we're not alone.
We're not alone. So what have you learned about that specifically? Because a lot of clients that you work with want to isolate.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you and I have talked about this offline, not on video, but when I first got sober, I was like, oh, my life is over, right? My life is over. No fun will ever be had by me. There's certainly going to be a lot of heartache and horribleness. I mean, I walked into a room of people, strangers, a 12-step program of strangers who welcomed me and said, welcome home. You're not alone. Hey, I'm 2 months in. Hey, I'm 2 years in. Hey, I've got 30 years. And I looked around the room, I felt the room first. I felt the room. And you can feel the vibe on Zoom and you can feel the vibe in a room. And there was so much laughter. There was healing. There was hope and transformation. And so even from that first little walk through the door, I was out of isolation and I was into some, I almost think of it in terms of black and white to color. And so you do that same thing for your clients, because when we want to hide, we want to go in the back closet, something's wrong with me, something's wrong with my husband, something's wrong with my life, we're broken all the way through broke. I'm never going to recover. So all of those are isolating, fear, anxiety, depression. What have you learned from yourself walking out of that darkness and walking up, holding the flashlight for others to walk out of that?
I think, when I look back on the things I did, because I did self-isolate, I did not want to talk to people. You think, when there's been betrayal like that, a lot of it you think is your fault. I wasn't a good enough wife. I wasn't, and the list goes on and on. And so there's shame. And so when we feel shameful, we don't really want people to see us,
Right.
so we hide. And I know that I did talk with two good friends. There were ones I knew that would support me, and I did. So they were only two I talked to, and one was local and one wasn't. And the other thing I did is I did not, even though they were both very strong Christians, and they would tell me, "Oh, you should read the Bible." I did not want to read the Bible. I was mad. I was mad. I was mad at God. My life was just turned upside down, and I just didn't have it in me. So I am able then to walk with my clients when they don't want to do that stuff either. So they don't want to come out. They don't want to attend the support group I lead, Broken and Beautiful. They want to stay home, but I can gently encourage them. Come on, try it once.
Right.
We're all in this group broken, and we're not going to judge you. We've all been there. We've all had shame. We all have guilt. We all, come and sit with us. And it's amazing how they do, how they come and all of a sudden open up because they see all these women who have been broken sitting around, much like I'm sure when you go to your meetings, right? Oh my gosh, they're kind, they're supportive, they're encouraging, they're fun, we laugh, we don't sit around crying, we don't bash the men. It's totally different than what they expect, and they find so much support there. And the other thing I do, because I did run from God, is I try to gently, if they're running, bring them back.
Right.
And it has to be in their timing. And I think that's the most, and I let them know, whatever you're doing, isolating, running, not going to God, whatever you're doing, you got to give yourself some space and time.
Right.
Sometimes I needed to hide in my closet for a couple of days until I was ready to come out.
Right.
You need to let yourself do what you need to do. I was ready. It was okay that I shut my Bible and didn't go to it until I was ready to open it. So give yourself grace. Give yourself permission.
I love that. And as we're finishing, like heading towards the finish of this, I mean, here's the deal, listeners. We could talk for hours, and we have. But there's lots of videos where I've recorded. There's a lot of videos in the queue somewhere, and we'll find some of those links where I've interviewed Diane over the years. And so it'd be fun for us to dig those up and put them here. So I'll see what I can do for that. But what tip, as we close up, what tip would you give your younger self? Not really about I want to hear what tip you would give yourself as an entrepreneur, as a businesswoman, because like for the journey that you didn't really know you were going on, you didn't really say, "Oh, I want to be an entrepreneur." I mean, I know you've been an interior decorator. You've been all sorts of things over your life that are very fascinating. But what tip would you give your entrepreneur self about the journey? What tip would you give that younger you?
I think the younger you, the tip I would give is you can. Because there's always that self-doubt. And, and it's kind of like you can, and you need to get out of the negative talk that is filtering in. You need to tell it just to get out of you. I would use a different word, but I won't. But just get the heck out of here.
Right.
Leave me alone, because I can.
Yes, you can.
I can.
Yes. So you would just really empower yourself with that permission. I've heard that, you used that word a little while ago. Just giving yourself permission that you can do this. You will learn this. It's not going to be perfect. Oh well, it was never called to be perfect. Just like a marriage.
Just like a marriage. And thinking that go back to one thing I said earlier, you're a learner. It's telling yourself, I'm a learner. I can do,
Mm.
I can do this because I can learn,
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I mean, I think that really is kind of our aha moment of today, is just this lifelong learner kind of like, what's the word? I mean, it's a framework. If I am a student, a perpetual student, a perpetual learner, then I'm never behind, because there's always more continuing education.
exactly, exactly.
and the syllabus will change year after year, and I'm going to keep showing up and enrolling. And for most of us, we get to one graduation, and then we want to go to the next certification, right?
Right.
And if not, God will give us his little agenda anyway.
Exactly.
so,
Well, and that's kind
so
of phrase that we've used in both our marriage group and then I use with my clients individually, is that become a student of your spouse, become a
nice.
student of yourself, because often we just we don't take that time, but become a student.
Wow. Okay. I love that. Become a student. Well, you are a great student, and I love, thank you for being my first guest on my new podcast.
Thank you for asking.
Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and, this has been the the Inspired Ideas podcast. We do a lot of talking about business here. Why? Because we're business. I love business. If you would have asked me that years and years ago, I would have said, huh? But God brings us where he needs us. And inspired business, we have the Inspired Business Inner Circle. So that if you're listening to this or watching, we are doing a multi-purpose thing right here. If you're interested in the group that Diane's been a part of, Diane has been a part of for, multiple years. She's an alumni. She keeps coming back. You're going to want to go to dianecunningham.com/inner circle. There's information there. There's videos from Diana. There's videos from the other women. There's all the goodies. And that will be the place for you to come join our community. And tell them, Diana, how they can find you to get more help for themselves or their marriage or anything that they might need.
Okay. Well, they can, excuse me, for Tim and I, for our work together, that would be www.thejourneythrough.com. And that's, where we do our work together. And you can see our books on there, our story, our journey is in there. And then if they want individual coaching more I call it like, I do more coaching individually if I'm not working with someone who's been betrayed, who's maybe just going through life seasons of change. And, we struggle with them sometimes. There's a lot of changes that we go through. And so that one is www.Diana Journey, and that journey's JOURNY.com. So.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I am honored to have you here with me, and I'm going to go ahead and close us up with just a quick prayer where I'm used to praying. And so I'm going to just say a quick prayer and close this up. Father God, thank you for this time together. Thank you for those listening on the podcast. Thank you for those watching on the YouTube. And thank you for all of the places that this information might end up. Lord, we ask that you multiply it and give us the reach that you want us to have. Help us to step out of your way so we can do your work. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All
Amen.
right. So listen again as I dial in and do more of these Inspired Ideas podcasts. My mission in life is to inspire you to catch on fire, dream big, and change the world. And I would be honored to do that with you in Inner Circle or in my private coaching. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.